Hi, we're KAHOOT. We're on a mission to make learning awesome.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Do you ever hear KAHOOT? Yes? Very good. Because today I want to review an article with title The Use of KAHOOT in Teaching Grammar for Second Year Student at SME Pembangunan Laboratorium UNP. Wow, the title is very straightforward and clear, right? But first thing first, my name is Yad Haziq Alil and this article was written by Rahaka, Panji, Prawira and Muhayyad. The author for this article is from English Department Faculty of Language and Arts, State University of Padang. And this article was released on 23rd December of 2020. A bit background of study for this article, where this research is motivated by the lack of mastery of grammar in students at Indonesia. This is because the practice in the learning process is still not varied. One example of an exercise that can be used is KAHOOT. And for your information, I can understand so well when the article stated clearly in the introduction that Indonesia's government has obligated that English must be learned started elementary school until senior high school. It is supported by the education curriculum used in Indonesia. So the researcher found that the Indonesian high school student is struggling in adapting foreign language, which is English language. So that is why this study has been discussed. The research objective of this article is to determine the effectiveness of the use of KAHOOT on the teaching of grammar students in the second year of the SMA Pembangunan Laboratorium UNP, despite having just one and only research objective, but the one research objective itself has been so solid to ensure this study are relevant to be conducted. But sadly, the article does not provide us the research question. I found it very bad because I cannot relate well of this study because the research question is supposedly continuous and related with research objective. But since the research question does not state it, so I cannot trace relevancy of this study at this part, such as the relation between Indonesian student or KAHOOT or maybe grammar. So it will welcome confusion for us as a reader. While the population and sample for this study is among second-year students of SMA Pembangunan Laboratorium UNP who were registered in the June until December period of the 2019 and 2020 school year. First thing first, I have to admit that the researcher will describe the population and sample for this study. But the researcher does not elaborate more about the population and sample. It might be better if the researcher explain more about the sample and population so that the readers will be more understanding on targeted respondent and participant of this study. Besides that, the researcher does not specifically describe the sampling in depth. We just know that this study sample is second year student of SMA Pembangunan Laboratorium UNP, but there must be a critical explanation on sampling procedures. And if needed, the researcher can include figure for its readers to understand the flow of sampling. It is important to highlight that the researcher does not explain the reason why selecting those respondent or participant. It is disturbing to the result when uncertainty, consequences and issues will occur later, such as sampling bias issue and also other common sampling error issue. And also for your information, this article is significant to three groups of people, which is student itself, teachers and also other researcher. Did you know that all of this information that I just said is where I got from this article's abstract? So packed with information in just one paragraph of abstract, which I found it quite good for this article. So next, let's we go to the most interesting part of this article. Why I say it as interesting? It is because the researcher provides us with a very deep and critical explanation at this research method and research design part, which is it is very adequate. For research method, this research used a quantitative with quasi-experimental method, pre-test and post-test group design. It is very suitable approach for these studies because quasi-experiment are the development for true experimental design that are complicated to implement. This study complete the rule for this design where it need to has a control group, but it cannot totally control external variable that affect the conduction of experiment, which is I think it fit very well with the study variable where the independent variable is the use of KAHOOT while the dependent variable is teaching English grammar skill of second year student at SCE Pembangunan Laboratorium UMP, while the researcher use experimental research as their research design. This design is very suitable for this study because Sutedi in 2011 stated that experimental research is a study designed to test usefulness and efficiency of teaching and learning practice, process, strategy, or media where if the results are good, they can be used in the classroom teaching. Very likely to the aim and purpose for this study. Oh yeah, almost forget to mention it. The result of this study found that the score of final result after the implementation of the treatment with the method KAHOOT in classroom experiment and learning conventional in control class. It was concluded that the teaching grammar skill method for second year student at SMA Pembangunan Laboratorium UNP using KAHOOT method is better without using KAHOOT. So actually, when we rewind a bit before knowing the result, all of the result information from the study has been organized in form of table. So for me, it will make us as a reader so easy to understand and for us to make some comparison. But sadly, the procedure for getting the result was not specifically mentioned. As a same as population, the researcher can include figure to ease reader to understand the flow of the procedure. It is important to highlight that the researcher does not explain on how procedure is getting the result. It is unclear to identify is there any bias while collecting this data. So now, opinion. Before we going too far with my opinion, it is very important for me to highlight that the researcher did a great job when finding supporting citation and while doing literature review. For your information, 10 from 30 references for this study is from Indonesia itself. I found that the researcher tries so hard in order to get the high level of accuracy in order to interpret the main idea from the original supported sources. More than that, the interpretation language and sentence structure are so easy to understand. And I think this is a great experience of reading we can get from this article because the researcher itself are from English Department of University in Padang, which is the one who absolutely emphasizing of English language, and that is why these articles are very good in terms of delivering and understanding the content and discussion. I already stated that the study shows the teaching grammar skill method for second year student using KAHOOT method is better than without using KAHOOT, right? So, for my opinion, I believe this KAHOOT platform could be very suitable to fit with any kind of subject and lectures too. Every educator could try this platform for be more versatile in our teaching style and technique. And as bonus for us as educator, our student will be having so much fun when learning our subject because the effect of this gamification in learning technique. Lastly is reflection. In our current technological world, the revolution method of teaching and learning should be empowered with nowadays styles of trend. So, I would like to relate with the idea in this article where the researcher said about the Industrial Revolution 4.0, where this kind of technique absolutely can develop students' critical thinking and complex problem solving, which at the same time could boost student creativity and be more imaginative and flexible while using media in learning process. But there are so much questions. Is everyone in our country could be able to use all of the technology? Everyone can play KAHOOT? Is there any struggle that we will face by needy students or teachers? And also, is it the capable students will be more smarter and smarter while the needy group of students will be far left behind? My answer is no. Trust me, it is bound to happen. Every student in Malaysia will be able to benefit the advancement of technology in terms of education in our country. It is just a matter of time. Thank you. Bye-bye.